Hi, Betsy DeLore here with 3 experiments inspired by the border property. On the left is a diamond-shaped header, and on the right is a zigzag-shaped side margin design. So the base shape in these is the lowly triangle. And the triangle begins with a square that is 100 by 100 pixels. There's no height or border specified on these two classes, so how do we know this? Well, the red triangle is made by applying a red border on the sides, either right or left, of 100 pixels, a solid, a red color. And next by applying a transparent top and bottom border, half the height, so 50 pixels, and we designate that it's transparent. So if we look at this triangle from the right side all the way to the left, which is 100 pixels, there is a red margin applied. There's also from the top left corner down to the midpoint, and from the bottom left corner up to the midpoint, so each 50 pixels, a transparent border applied, which the white background shows through and leaves the resulting red triangle. The underlying shape of the div is the 100 by 100 pixel square. So I created the diamond pattern header by just lining up divs with the right and left facing triangles via 2 classes. Pretty simple design. It's fun to minimize and maximize this design. It shows you how the different shapes are rendered. And there's the base shape, and then they line up left to right. You can also make a pretty striking repeating pattern, which is precise and sharp and bold, and could be used maybe with varying opacities for a background on a page. One thing to note on this design is the use of the float left, which is what causes these shapes to line up left to right until the right edge of the available screen is reached, and then continue loading the shapes on the next line. The second little experiment is using the same border property to create the base shape of a decorative left sidebar or margin. The base shape, however, is a notched out rectangle. So it's created by, again, using the borders to create, 3 of them are specified as red here, and the border right, coming in from the right side, going halfway to the center, the color is not specified, so it defaults to black. And then when we just add the shapes, they do not go across the page because we are missing the left float, the float left property. Instead, they are rendered stacked up, one on top of another in the vertical sidebar. In this example, there is a width and height specified of 0, which helps to constrain the shape to the size specified in the border property. So if we would take those off, you can see that they're going to fill up the full width of the screen. I also read that property makes the shapes fully collapsible, and I'm not sure exactly what that means, but anyway, this was also a kind of a nice idea to see how these designs can stack up and create an image. The last experiment is named the Crazy Stoplight. The blue sides are made of those last squares from my second example, but with width properties set to make the different offset lengths on the left and the right. so not squares. There's the width property set there on the first div. I added a circle, 100 by 100 pixel square with border radius set to 50. And in the rows of the shape pattern, it reminded me of a stoplight, so I added in color changes when the user hovers over the lights. The notch in each blue rectangle is created with a side border property of white, in this case, to offset the circle. And let's see, I wasn't able to figure out how to do the nth child or changing these, so I did a multiple selector when just setting the attributes of the circle itself. But when it came to the hover attributes, I did them one at a time to change them color and to change their colors, and also to specify the different font sizes. That's about it. That's what I have, and I had fun doing these shapes. I hope you did too.